Alright, this is Dungeon Raids 3 Part 1. Um, this is my alternate account if you guys haven't figured that out by now. My main account is actually the Grim Orca account. But yeah, just forgive me if this video seems like I'm sucking as I'm playing, so don't, like, criticize me or anything about you guys can play better than me or whatever. I don't know. This is actually, if you can see my Blood Elf's level, he's like level 15. This is literally my first priest. This is my first dungeon raid. There's just a lot of stuff that goes in the hand. I'm not trying to make excuses, but that's the reality. Um, yeah, so I'm just gonna take you guys through a walkthrough of the dungeon and basically everything we're doing. Uh, Pretty much this is just a random dungeon. The last two dungeons that you guys have seen in the series have literally been dungeons that I have specifically done with my guild. This particular dungeon is the first dungeon available, called Ragefire Chasm. Um, there's four bosses in here. I think we only beat three of them though. The actual dungeon takes about a matter of about, on your first time through it, if you want to kill all the bosses, it could take anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes. It took us exactly 22 minutes and something seconds. I'm gonna make a part 2 to this and a part 3 because it took us 22 minutes and I can only upload 10 minutes at a time. But yeah, we're doing pretty good so far. What you're gonna want to do is have pretty much any classes could really do this. Just as long as you have a healer backing you up and giving you pretty good heals, there's not really anything that you should really watch out for. Like I said, this is really one of the first dungeons. In fact, this should have been the first dungeon that I showed. But just stuff came up and I did the other dungeons first. Obviously, I was on another account when I did the other dungeons. But yeah, literally we're just we're literally just messing up these guys. Um I'm just looking at the action right now. Uh for people who this is their first dungeon, I'm just gonna go through what you guys kind of need to be doing. Um because this is technically should be the first dungeon. But what you need to be doing is send your tank out, and basically, unless you're a melee DPS, which means you're like a paladin, or which could actually be a tank and a healer, but a paladin or a rogue, or or a warrior, those are your melee DPSs. You're gonna want to just stay back and just fire as your tank is basically covering you. And there's only so many classes that can actually do tank. I don't really remember all of them by heart because there's a lot of them now versus when the game first started. But yeah, pretty much you're gonna just want to back up your tank. Healer, whatever you want to do. The healer is like the druid, the priest, and the shaman, and now paladin too. What you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to really stay in the back, or somewhat in the middle, because sometimes back attacks do happen. And if a back attack does happen, you don't want to be the person at the back, because if you get killed No one can really revive you or help you unless they can do some healing or something too. But what you're gonna want to do is try to stay somewhere in the middle. Um, Try to stay around a bunch of people on your team. Make sure that everybody knows your location, because if no one knows your location and you're being attacked, no one can help you. Um, that's just an important strategy there. You're gonna wanna try your best to you know basically work the field and make sure everyone's getting healed. Uh, if you have a warlock in your party, he's gonna be using life tap anytime his mana gets down. So you're gonna want to heal him, and also you're gonna want to focus on tank. I say between the two, focus on tank, because if tank goes down, now you have a problem, because basically your offensive and your defensive wall, which is basically what tank is, has just went down. So now all the enemies are going to be attacking you and your teammates. So what you're going to really want to do is just focus on healing him and healing basically your warlock. Then next, I would say any other person out there, you're going to want to heal if you see them taking damage. You're also going to want to heal other healers. Like, they might have not have signed up for being a healer in this dungeon, but they can heal. Like, if it's a shaman with you, he might not be an active healer, but you're going to want to heal him, because if you die, he can bring you back. So you're going to want to make sure that his health is up. If you're a warlock in any dungeon, this is just an overall dungeon tip. If you're a warlock, what you're going to want to do is make a soul shard, and you're going to want to cast your soul shard on the healer. Because, face it, casting a soul shard on yourself is basically pointless. Because 9 times out of 10, when you finish using your soul shard, and when you actually do use it, the enemy is just going to be right around you again, and it's going to end up resulting in your death. And one warlock can't take out an entire dungeon by himself. I would know this because I was a warlock. Shaman, if you're a shaman, I don't have a shaman character, but if you're a shaman, what you're going to want to do is put down your totems. Your totems are basically going to be your main support, and everybody's going to benefit from it. Depending on whether your stamina is up or your mana is up, is going to be whether you want to stay in the back or stay in the front. If you have high health, you might want to attack up front with the tank. If you have low mana, then you're going to want, if you have high mana instead of having high health, you're going to want to stay in the back to shoot spells and whatnot. A tip for basically warriors should just know what they want to do. Warriors, you just go and attack. I hate to say it like I'm trying to diss the warrior, but what you guys need to do is just straight up attack. You guys can't really do much else, so just attack. You guys do make up with your lack of extraordinary abilities with your pure overall strength. That's why you guys need to be attacking. But a warrior, I personally say, because they have more armor than anybody else, needs to be attacking a different target than what the group is attacking. And saying this, the group may want to break off into 2 teams. And even if another warrior isn't, say, the tank, he can just play the role of a tank per se, and you guys can just split up the group into 2 and just divide your attacks, and you can take out more enemies faster that way. I'm actually running out of time on this video. I'll see you guys next video.